Hi, hello, this is Martha Steinecker, and I'm recording this casual little recording for you, the Disability Resources Center, because I forgot to turn my mic on last week. So let's try it again today. Just running through briefly what students experience in Blackboard, and then a few things about what its instructors experience. So students access their courses from their My ASU page. So I've already clicked on this course called Blackboard Introduction, and I'm at the course entry point. Typically, the left menu is where students move around in the course. Then there are different content areas off to into the main part of the screen, and instructors can add several items in any given content area. This menu is somewhat typical of a standard Blackboard shell, although instructors can totally change those menu items and rearrange things and have a different experience for the students. But just so that you know, this is somewhat typical. Under Start Here, we have the announcements area. So if an instructor does want to create an announcement, they do so in Blackboard, and everyone receives an email letting them know that there is an announcement available in the course. And when the students go to the course, then of course they see the announcement there as well. Course Home is a module page, and by module page I mean each one of these sections is a separate module. And if you hover over them, you can click on a different view if the student hovers over those. Blackboard's all about hovering. So as you hover over items, different things appear. The to-do list is also important for students. If the instructor puts a due date in the Blackboard system for an assignment, it will be listed in the to-do list. Going on into course information, I noticed that many times people put course information in the left menu. I'm not sure why, because I think it's really more important for the students to know where to get to the course syllabus. And usually the course syllabus is hidden in the course information. So my preference would be to put syllabus over here in this menu, but this is a common practice I've noticed. So here's the course information, course syllabus, grading criteria, cyber cafe, anything about the course that instructors want the students to know overall is usually in the course information area. And oftentimes instructors will have a syllabus quiz so that students really dig into the syllabus and get a good feeling for how the course is going to be proceeding. Then we have a content area, and this is just an example of how somebody might organize the content area. You can make different folders here for the students, and then these links link the students into the content area. So I clicked on that week 1, and I come into another layer of the content area. I have an item at the top that's just nothing but a message. I have a web link here. If I were to click on that, I can open that and I'm sent to the ASU homepage. I can have a video link, and instructors can post videos in different ways. They can just use, these are both from YouTube as it happens, and YouTube offers a choice. You can insert a thumbnail, or you can actually embed a video into the space for students. I, of course, think this is more engaging, and I think students would find it that way too. Oftentimes instructors have discussion forums, and here is an example with all the instructions for what is supposed to be put into the discussion forum. This one has very specific instructions about it should be a minimum of 550 words, and you need to answer these 6 questions. So students would then click on that link, and they would go into the discussion forum, and they would just click on Create Thread and put a title in their subject and post their discussion or post their answer here. This is an area that is in many of the Blackboard forums. And it gives you a lot of both students and instructors access to a lot of great editing tools. So one caveat is that if someone copies and pastes something from a Word document into this Blackboard area, it's going to carry over some behind-the-scenes coding that is in Microsoft Word documents. So if that is done, you need to, whoever's doing it needs to select everything and then use this little eraser to remove formatting. And then these tools can be used to reformat the text with bold letters or whatever. Students can also turn on the little webcam tool here, and they can record themselves from the webcam, and the instructor would see that, or the other students would see that in the discussion area as well. You can insert or edit images, insert embedded media, use a math editor if you have to type formulas or something. Mashups give you access to a lot of different areas: the Blackboard Collaborate, voice authoring, Flickr photos, slideshow presentations, NBC content, and YouTube video. So there's a lot of flexibility in this area. And for those who are fluent in HTML, you can click the HTML view and work in the coding area. So you can also, the students can also attach a file to that discussion post. So if I just quickly put something in here, hello world, and submit, there's my posting, and people can go in and take a look at it. I can go back and open it and do different things with it. So that's how discussions work. Some instructors also like to include a discussion link in the left menu, and you would see all of the discussions in the course in one list. So back to the content area and back into week 1. There are also assignments in Blackboard. So there are 2 types in this example. This is just a regular assignment, so I'll show you how students experience this. This is an assignment link. It has instructions to say, write your instructions for how to submit an assignment in a Word document, save, and then click on this link to submit your assignment. So I'm going to click on that link, and if the instructor created a rubric, I have the option to view the rubric. So if I click that, it shows what are the parameters for this assignment so that I can aim to get the most points I can possibly earn. I can click on Write Submission and then copy, paste, or write directly into that area, or I can browse my computer and attach a document. I recommend attaching a document, but it's up to the individual. What works best. And students get very confused by this comments area, and they think, oh, that's where I'm going to put my assignment, and that is not correct, because then when the instructor tries to grade it, it's off into another location that's harder to read. So students need to understand that comments are just to say something brief to the instructor, like, I really had difficulty with part 2, something to communicate to the instructor, but not the whole assignment. So I'm going to browse my computer, and I believe I put something on my desktop. Let's just choose something. And open. And now it's attached, and I just submit. And it's going to be submitted, and now I can see my homework in the Blackboard system. And this is also what the instructor sees when they are grading the assignment. But at least the students have a visual verification that, okay, it was successfully submitted, so we're all set. A different kind of assignment is a safe assignment that instructors may choose to create. And a safe assignment is a little different than a regular assignment. It is a way to check using anti-plagiarism software on the student's work. So if the student clicks View, they come into this area where they can submit their assignment. And this, again, this is a comments area. There is no write submission here. It's just choose a file. So I'll choose a file again. Choose it. And there it is, it's attached, it's in there now. And I then have to click that I agree to submit my paper to the global reference database. So Safe Assignment has a global reference database, and it also has an institutional database. So the institutional database contains the writings of everyone from the university. The global reference database is outside of the university. So it's checking a lot of writing against what the student submits. So then I click Submit, and it's thinking. And instead of going to the View in Blackboard system, I just come back out to my content page. And then, of course, we have tests and quizzes in Blackboard. And so once again, students just click on that link, and then they come to this test. This test is a timed test. Not all tests are, but there's information about the test. It allows multiple attempts. So I'm going to begin, click Begin, and then I get a message, oh, I already took that test. 1 of 3 attempts have already been taken. So I'm going to say Start New Submission. And this is just an example test, so I'm going to only have to answer 1 question here. And then I will say OK. And then my test is submitted. I get a message that it's submitted and click OK, and I'm done. So I got feedback on the test. I got 10 out of 10 points, and I am done with that test. Students can also see their grades in Blackboard. So if they click on My Grades, here's an example of assignments that I've submitted. This is a quiz that I submitted just now, and I got 10 out of 10 points. The exclamation point here indicates that my assignment has been submitted, but it hasn't been graded yet by the instructor. But I can see all of the assignments in the course in my grades area. We also have typically staff information. So here's my contact information, or maybe the instructor might choose to do a webcam of themselves, introducing themselves and welcoming the students to the course. There is a lot of possibility here. And then tools are many, and instructors can also control which tools are available to students. But there are lots of great tools. Students can send emails to people in the class by clicking Send Email. They can get a glossary. There are lots of great tools here. And in this particular example, there's a little survey that says, what did you think? And people can click on that survey and give feedback to the instructor. In the instructor view, this is the same course, and there was a question from you last week about how to manage students taking a test, and it's a timed test, and one student needs more time than the other student. So if I come down here to content, and go back into week 1, and let's go down to the quiz. As an instructor, you can go in and edit the test options and come down here, and this is a timed test. So you can come down and say, add a test availability exception. So for that one student that needs more time, you don't have to create 2 columns in the Grade Center. Just go back into the same test and add that student as an exception. So if I add myself, just put a check mark next to 1 student, or however many you need to give an exception to. and then click Submit. And now you see this exception is listed, and you can say that person can have multiple attempts and say how many. You can change the amount of time they have to take the test. You can have it be automatically submitted after a certain amount of time, or you can remove that person from the availability exceptions area. So very easy to manage that for different students needing different amounts of time. Again, if I put a due date on this test or on any assignment, it'll show up in the student's to-do list. So I'm going to submit that. And that student will now have more time to take the test. So that's the way to manage that. And that was a concern last week because it was a weighted grade and you didn't want to have two columns in the grade center. Okay, another question from last week was, how do you remove a student from a course? You can't actually remove them, but you can change their availability in the course. So if you go back down to your users area, and you can click next to a student's hovering again, as we do in everything in Blackboard, and hover over that and change the user's availability in the course. And you can say available. You can say yes or no. And they will technically still be enrolled in the course, but they won't have access to the course. So those were two questions. If you have any other questions from the instructor standpoint, please do not hesitate to contact me, Martha Steinecker. There are some other things that I mentioned earlier about the students. Copying and pasting from Word, be sure to remove the formatting with that little eraser tool and explore the different multimedia tools that you have in the class. So that's it for now. I hope this was a helpful video for you, and again, please let me know if you have any other questions. Thank you.